Hey everyone, I'm Jack Zimakas. For this installment of On the Record, I'm seated with Dr. Gary Gould, a news media production specialist at Ryerson University. Dr. Gould, thanks for lending us your time.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Would you mind giving us a bit of background on what you've done before, your current position here at Ryerson?
Yeah, so my background is I actually started at Ryerson in the RTA, it's actually called the Radio and Television Arts program when I took it. It's now the media production course. So I did a 3-year degree with Ryerson, and then I started working for CBC with their news program it was called The Journal. It was CBC News and Current Affairs, and The Journal was one of their flagship shows, so I worked with them for a while. And then I do a lot of projects on my own. So the last project I did the video for the National Newspaper Awards. They have an award show, so I did that for them, a multi-camera shoot for them. I'm also working on a 360 project right now with Professor Adrian Ma. Adrian is one of our professors with the School of Journalism, and the two of us are building a textbook on how to shoot and how to use 360 technology for visual storytelling.
Getting into photography proper, in a high school publication, how can photography enhance a written piece?
I think photography is what actually initially draws people. I've seen some research that say a story with a picture gets a lot more reads because people see the picture and it draws their eye to a photograph. We all love pictures, right? You've got Instagram, you've got Twitter, Facebook. People look at people's pictures where they won't read. In a high school environment, I think it's the same thing. People look at pictures of their friends, of people. That's what I would say. I think a picture of a school hallway is way less interesting. It's just an empty hallway at night is way less interesting than that same hallway full of people, because people are going to look at the people, right? And that's the other thing. Remember too, we identify as humans with other humans, and so when I look at a picture, it's nice to look at landscape and Grand Canyon, but type shots. But it's another thing to have a Grand Canyon shot with a person in the picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you have some more to it. So I would say take as many pictures as you can. Try to integrate as many pictures as you can into your content, which kind of extrapolates and visualizes what you're talking about. But again, the photograph has to accurately reflect the story, right? So, and that's, I guess, part of the challenge. Does the picture, if I see a photograph, if I read the article that comes with it, does it build on the story? It's like, you don't want to just say this is a photograph of Gary sitting at a desk. You want to kind of tell more. The two should complement each other. One shouldn't overpower the other one.
Oh,
but the photo draws you in, and then the words fill in the blanks for you.
Now, how can aspiring photographers create a body of work that will prepare them for more challenging assignments later on?
I think people. I think what we were talking this morning in a workshop about taking pictures of people on the street. Like if I feel comfortable taking photographs of maybe it starts with just your friends. You start taking pictures of your friends. And it's helpful because then you can look at your work and say, this worked, this didn't work. Maybe these pictures had too much headroom, or it was too dark, or I shot them against the window. So as you go and you learn, you're like, okay, now I know how to make the photographs look better. Once I have a sense of basic photography and what looks good, then I can move to take pictures of other people. Maybe I don't know, but I feel comfortable with my photography because I know what looks good.
What should photographers know about shooting with people, so living subjects, versus generally inanimate subjects?
It's important too. This is important in the world of photojournalism. Photojournalism is different from just creative photography. So if I'm doing, say, modeling or this kind of thing, we do something in photojournalism called environmental portraits, and that's a posed photograph of somebody in their environment. Usually it's related. We're doing a story, let's say you're doing a story on someone who's an architect. Yeah. So you might take that person to a work site with some blueprints and set them up, and then you pose them in this work site with blueprints with this background. When you're doing photojournalism though, when I'm taking pictures of people, it's very important not to pose them. You are a fly on the wall, you are taking photographs as it happens. You can't, you're not to be involved. Like, you're just taking photographs. You can't say, oh, can you turn your head? Can you do this? Tilt your head this way. That's for the portraits, but when you're actually taking pictures of people, let it just happen. And then it's also important to realize too, you can only do minimal photoshopping. You can't blur out the background after the fact. That has to be done in camera. You can't clone something out on, let's say you don't like the wallpaper behind me here. You can't go and change the color on the photograph. No, if you don't like the color of that wallpaper, shoot from a different angle, right? Shoot this way and you get the white wall, or put lighting on it. We have a white wall over to the left of us. You can put a blue gel on a light or a red gel and light the background and shoot in front of it that way. That's how you'd work creatively as a photographer. So be careful. There are ethics involved with taking photos for photojournalism. High school pictures for a yearbook is very different, but if you're coming across a school newspaper, or certainly our papers here, what we teach at Ryerson, or if you work for the Toronto Star, you are recording things as they happen, unless you're doing environmental portraits.
Do you have any other advice for high school journalists?
I would say it's important. Journalism's important. Journalists are important. It's important to have people that are neutral speakers of the truth, to call people to account, to question things. And I think there needs to be a voice in society to do that. And if everybody just sort of gives up on that and then just sort of, sits at home and watches Netflix and we don't care what people are doing, it's a problem. This morning we had a panel discussion, and there was the Eye Opener, two of the people that are working at the Eye Opener, two of the editors. They were talking about how there was a scandal here at Ryerson, the student union, the people running that, a couple of the people anyways, there was allegations of misuse of spending. They mentioned this morning the sum of $250,000. And that's not something that anybody caught. But the student journalists went out and they kept looking and digging, and they said, let's get these receipts and let's do stuff. It's important. Journalism's important. I think we need more people that will say, I will take a stand, right? And maybe I'm using an old phone, but what the heck? I'm making a difference in my world.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Gary Gould, and this has been On the Record. This is a video series produced by the Canadian Youth Journalism Project.